Are we live? We are live. Hello, you guys. Welcome back to another episode of Readings by Candlelight, continuing the story of Napoleon Hill's interview with the devil. I believe this is part 5, unless I wrote it wrong. For all the newcomers, take your shoes off, stay a while. It's going to be a fun one. They're usually pretty fun. Thanks for being here. We do a lot of cool stuff like this. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell notification next to it so that you guys know to check in, or so that you guys can be reminded as the videos come out. And for those of you who are returning listeners to Readings by Candlelight, thank you so much for the continued support. If you're looking for more ways to help support, you can find me on Patreon. There's a link in the description. You can hit me with a straight up PayPal, which is like a tip jar for the videos, in the description. Or you can just like the video, or you can share the video. There's all kinds of ways you can help Man of Letters channel stay afloat and stay alive, and keep cool content like this, fun, cool content like this coming. So, yes, thanks, you guys. Also, if you're not new, if you are new, I go about 10 minutes or so before I start the lives just to give people a chance to filter in. A lot of the times people don't get the notifications right away. Again, YouTube sucks sometimes. And yes, but thanks for being here, you guys. I really appreciate it. And yeah. Hi, how you doing? Name's Keith, bringer of knowledge, information, and entertainment. Happy to be chilling with you. What is it, a Tuesday? Happy to be chilling with you guys on a Tuesday. Also, if you guys want to support the channel, or if you just want some goodies, the Readings by Candlelight was actually started because I'm a candle maker, and I sell them on my Etsy shop. Black candles, red candles, ritual candles. They're all made out of beeswax. And essential oils. I distill essential oils. I sell smudging sticks. I make lucid dreaming elixirs. All that can be found on my Etsy shop. Again, on the description. All right, it's enough self-promo, you guys. My bad. I gotta market where I can. You know what I mean? So, thanks for letting me do that. And yeah. We're gonna be burning frankincense tonight. I also sell frankincense kits on my Etsy shop, which means you get all the resin, you get a cool burner, a cool stove, brass stove, and yeah, all for like $30 or something like that, and that includes shipping. So if you want to be cool like us and burn some frankincense resin during the lives and kick it, you know how to do that. The coals take forever to heat, though. I don't have the patience to wait, so I just torch the hell out of them. Great, you guys. So a little bit of background why I chose Napoleon Hill's interview with the devil. One, because we're interviewing the devil. It's cool as fuck. 2, Napoleon Hill was a hermeticist. I know that's not written anywhere, but just reading what he's writing about in all of his texts, I swear to God, he's a hermeticist through and through, alchemist, whatever you want to call it. Study, a researcher and studier of occult texts, particularly Kabbalion, Hermetics, Emerald Tablets, if you will, Isaac Newton, Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, all these dudes, all on the same wavelength. And I'm happy to be keeping the tradition alive, though by no means any of the people I just mentioned. It's still fun to pretend. I'm going to open up the the group right here, see what we got going so far. I'm gonna open up the Hey Phoenix King, what's cracking? Purple Frilly, what up? Johnny Ray, what up? Oh, you finished the book, Phoenix. Nice. Dope. That's cool. Thanks for liking the video already, you guys. Appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. Nice. I'm gonna pour myself a glass of wine tonight, if you guys don't mind. Might as well, right? Let me know if we have any audio issues or anything like that throughout the live, just so I can Oh, bummer. If music's too loud or something weird's going on, if I mute on accident, you guys are like, what the hell, Keith? Just let me know so nothing weird's happening. Can you guys hear secondary music coming from the background? Because the neighbor's bumping it right now. What's up, you guys? Welcome to the room. I don't know who's just checking in or who's not checking in, but happy to have you guys here. We're going to get started. We're going to get things cracking in just a second. All right, we're going to get started in just a second. So while we're waiting, be sure to pour yourself a glass of wine, roll yourself up some oregano, take your shoes off, stay a while, burn the sage, sprinkle the holy water, lay out the salt, whatever you got to do to set the mood and do the do, you know what I mean? I'll see if they can turn the music down just a hair. Oh, I think she already turned it on. Never mind. We're chilling. Could somebody, come on, you kind fellas out there, please let me know what we got going as far as time. We should crack this off. Hey, honey bunny, what's cracking? I can hear the music stopping whenever I send a text message like, hey, could you turn it down just a smidgen? Anyone new? Anyone new in the squad that's checking in tonight? I'd love to hear from the new guys. It's always nice to damn, look at that color. Right. I wish the lives were as crispy as they showed up on my camera, but they lose quality in the upload. To stream automatically, you have to lower the quality a bit so that it keeps up, which means you lose out on quality, and it looks so good on my end, but unfortunately. Nice, you turned it down. Cynthia Johnson. That name sounds familiar. Not to be confused with Cynthia Donaldson, I hope. Um, Plummy Beauty. Nice. Everyone say hello to Plummy Beauty. Give her a nice, friendly welcome from the squad. It's a comfy spot we got going here, Plummy. I hope you enjoy yourself. All right, I think that's enough time. What is it? 7:45. It's been about 10 minutes. You guys, has it? Oh, there's 9 people in the room right now, at least on my end. So that's a good number. All right, you guys, do me a favor. Everyone in here, go ahead, go click the like button so that YouTube will fucking figure it out and promote the video. And we will begin. Shit. Part 5, you guys. I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but part 5. Interview with the devil. So far, we've talked about drifters, which, long story short, the devil uses the more negative forces of existence to prey on the weak, and his tools work best on what he calls drifters. Now, drifters aren't inherently bad. They're just easy to take over. Drifters are people that lack definiteness of purpose. We'll say what's basically self-explanatory. It's a drifter, someone that just kind of drifts along with the breeze, drifts with the flow all the time, like a leaf in the wind, which is easy because you don't have to do anything. But it's dangerous because, well, the answer to that we have been finding out through this text. So I'm glad you guys made it to the channel. Glad you guys made it to the readings because y'all get to learn today how the devil's mind operates. Interviewed by Napoleon Hill himself. You guys might know Napoleon Hill as the writer of the book Think and Grow Rich, which is a staple in the self-development industry, in the business industry. Well, shit, those two industries alone pretty much cover, I feel, 90% of human interaction and humans, period. So, without further ado, without further ado, Ladies and gents, I'm your host, Keith, your man of letters, bringer of knowledge, information, and a bit of entertainment. You are here at Readings by Candlelight, where we do cool occult readings, oddly by candlelight, preferably occult, esoteric, spiritual, or just peculiar things in general. And we see what we can learn from them. Interview with the Devil by Napoleon Hill. This chapter is titled Seeds of Fear. As there's literally an alarm going off on someone's phone. And it's the danger alarm, like the countdown has begun. There's been weird things going on. When I've been reading this, really weird, peculiar, if you will, goings on. Coincidence? I think not. And we begin. Seeds of Fear. Oh, by the way, the devil has the plantation southern draw to him. Or at least what I'm calling plantation southern draw. I'm just kind of channeling, if you will. I have often wondered why your opposition, what we earthbound call God, does not annihilate you. Can you tell me why? Because the power is as much mine as his. It is as available to me as to him. That is what I have been trying to get over to you. The highest power in the universe can be used for constructive purposes through what you call God, or it can be used for negative purposes through what you call the devil. And something more important still, it can be used by any human being just as effectively as by God or the devil. You make a far-reaching claim. Can you prove this claim? Yes, but it would be better if you proved it for yourself. The devil's word is not worth much among you earthbound sinners. Neither is God's word. You fear the devil and refuse to trust your God. Therefore, you have but one source available through which you may appropriate the benefit of universal power. And that is by trusting and using your own power of thought. This is the direct road to the universal storehouse of infinite intelligence. There is no other road available to any human being. Why have we earthbound not found the road to infinite intelligence sooner? Because I have intercepted you and led you off the path by... That was creepy. Some shit just fell in my closet right now. Did you guys hear that? You obviously didn't see it. This is a spooky ass reading, you guys. I'm telling you, weird shit keeps happening whenever I read this book. Spooky. All right. I have made it attractive to use the power of infinite intelligence to attain negative ends through greed, avarice, lust, envy, and hatred. Remember, your mind attracts that which your mind dwells upon. To divert you away from my opposition, I had only to feed you on thoughts helpful to my cause. If I understand what you're saying, you are admitting that no human being need fear the devil or worry about how to flatter God. That is it precisely. This admission may put a crimp in my style, but I have this satisfaction of knowing it may also slow down my opposition by sending people direct to the source of all power. In other words, if you cannot control people through negative bribes or fear, then you wish to kick over the entire apple cart and show people how to go directly to God. Are you sure, by any chance, in politics too? Your technique seems frightfully familiar. Am I Am I in politics? If I am not in politics, who do you believe starts depression and forces people into wars? Surely you would not lay this at the door of my opposition. As I have already told you, I have allies in all walks of life to help me in connection with all human relationships. Why do you take over the churches and use them outright in your cause? Do you think I am a fool? Who would keep alive the fear of the devil if I subdued the churches? Who would serve as a decoy to attract the attention of people while I manipulate their minds if I do not have some agency through which to sow the seeds of fear and doubt? The cleverest thing I do is to use the allies of my opposition to keep the fear of hell burning in the minds of people. As long as people fear something, no matter what, I will keep a grip on them. I am beginning to see your scheme. You use the churches to plant the seed of fear and uncertainty and indefiniteness in the minds of people. These negative states of mind cause people to form the habit of drifting. This habit crystallizes into permanency through the law of hypnotic rhythm. Then the victim is helpless to help himself. Is that right? Hypnotic rhythm, then, is something to be watched and respected. A better way of stating the truth is that hypnotic rhythm is something to be studied, understood, and voluntarily applied to attain definite desired ends. If the force of hypnotic rhythm is not voluntarily applied to attain definite ends, may it be a great danger? Yes, and for the reason that it operates automatically. If it is not consciously applied to attain a desired end, it can and it will operate to attain undesired ends. If the force of hypnotic rhythm is not voluntarily applied to attain definite ends, shit, I read that part already. Undesired, yada. Ooh, it's quite the monologue from the devil here. Um, Take the simple illustration of climate, for example. Anyone can see and understand that nature forces every living thing and every element of matter to adjust itself to her climates. In the tropics, she creates trees which bear fruit and reproduce themselves. She forces the trees to adjust themselves to her scorching sun. She forces them to put out leaves suitable for protection against the rays of the sun. These same trees could not survive if removed to the Arctic regions where nature has established an entirely different climate. In the colder climates, she creates trees which are adjusted to survive and to reproduce themselves, but they could not survive if transplanted in the tropical regions. In the same manner, nature clothes her animals, giving to those in each different climate a covering suited to their comfort and survival in that climate. In a similar manner, nature forces upon the minds of men the influences of their environment, which are stronger than the individual's own thoughts. Children are forced to take on the nature of all influences of those around them unless their own thoughts are stronger than the influences. Nature sets up a definite rhythm for every environment, and everything within the range of that rhythm is forced to conform to it. Man alone has the power to establish his own rhythm of thought, providing he exercises this privilege before hypnotic rhythm has forced upon him the influences of his environment. Every home, every place of business, every town and village, and every street and community center has its own definite, discernible rhythm. If you wish to know what a difference is, if you wish to know what a difference there is in the rhythm of the streets, take a walk up Fifth Avenue in New York, and then down a street in the slums. All forms of rhythm become permanent with time. What's up, sweetie? What's up, sweetie? We're going to take a quick break, and if you guys are listening on the podcast, too bad you can't see the babes. Atlas, say hi. No wine for you. Give you another 20 years. You can talk in the mic, though. Say hi. Say hi. Well, we'll take that. That's good enough. Oh, he's all clean. I guess I'll use this opportunity to check the live and make sure nothing weird's going on. Alchemy, you made it. Amit, you made it. What's cracking, you guys? Thanks. Moon magic. Nice. Um, Cynthia, John. John, you're good. Don't sweat it. Jenny, Pete, Alchemy, John, Jenny. What up, what up, what up, what up? Okay. So we are still gravy. Sweetie. Where were we? Oh yeah, the devil just went on a huge rant about rhythm. So allow me a moment to dive into that a little more and really weasel out the nuts and bolts of what he's talking about. The devil's talking about, he calls it hypnotic rhythm. And if I can break it down in just a couple of sentences, the devil's definition for hypnotic rhythm is the more you do something, or the more you're surrounded by something, whether environment or thoughts, usually it's both, the more you get stuck in that. And according to the devil, eventually you're so stuck that it's literally impossible for you to escape. Well, I don't believe that, because there's always a possibility of escape no matter what you're in, because nothing lasts forever, right? Change is the only constant. He is, in fact, true when it comes to rhythm. So we learned from Hermetics, from these sages, that rhythm is something like momentum. Um, a pendulum swings back and forth. That's the rhythm we're talking about. Rhythm is always back and forth. It's ones and zeros. It's on, it's off. It's left and right. The rhythm is the swing. It's the dance. When the swing reaches the apex and comes swinging back, the downswing has momentum, right? So it makes more sense, in other words, to hop on the pendulum when it's swinging downwards to use the momentum of the pendulum. That's what rhythm, part of rhythm. One of the useful parts of rhythm is learning about momentum, learning about timing. Well, if you have a rhythm locked in for so long, a habit locked in for so long, it is damn near impossible to break that habit, especially if you don't know you have the habit to begin with. And he uses things like, the devil says, walk down Fifth Avenue in New York and feel the energy, feel the rhythm of Fifth Avenue, New York. Now go walk on a slum, he says, and feel the change of rhythm, feel the shift, feel how the mindsets are damn near cemented in the minds of the people, whether you're Fifth Avenue businessman or whether you're someone living in the slums that believes there's no way out. Rich people lose their money and become poor all the time. Poor people get money and become rich all the time. Such is life. There is no constant except for change, and you guys have to remember that. First and foremost, remember that. Second, remember about this hypnotic rhythm thing. Don't get locked in a mindset for too long, because it will become your truth. It will become your reality. And while you always have a chance to change it, the older you get, the fucking harder it is to change your mind. And we can even prove that with science now, because the malleability, the pliability of your brain, like literally loses its elasticity. It loses its malleability. The older you get, meaning it's harder to reroute neural networks as you get older. So even if you wanted to change and you wanted to create a new habit, it's going to be tougher. Not necessarily a bad thing, right? You don't want to be wishy-washy, otherwise you'll be a drifter. You have to have definiteness of purpose, and definiteness of purpose comes with having a solid mindset. solid mind state, which means it will not change for the most part, regardless of the people you come across, regardless if you fail, regardless if you meet an obstacle, regardless if you're scared or you're fearful, or regardless if you don't know what the next step is. As long as you're rigid enough, you have the hypnotic rhythm on your side enough to push anyways, you're good, right? So the oh, so um shit. And the devil says this himself. It's not this hypnotic rhythm, this getting stuck somewhere is not an evil thing. It's just a nature of reality. It's the law of rhythm, to be more specific. And the devil uses that against you, but you can use the tool for yourself. And this is simple things that you hear every day if you're in the spiritual world, you know, or in the business world. The business world says things like, you are the median of your five closest friends. Look at your five closest friends. You will be the about average of intelligence, income, happiness, or sadness, etc. Of all things. Spirituality says basically the same shit. Um, okay. Starting to ramble. I basically said everything I need to say on that. We'll carry on with the next question. Does each individual have his own rhythm of thought? Yes. This is precisely the major difference between individuals. The person who thinks in terms of power, success, opulence, sets a rhythm which attracts these desired possessions. The person who thinks in terms of misery, failure, defeat, discouragement, and poverty attracts these undesirable influences. This explains why both success and failure are the result of habit. Habit establishes one's rhythm of thought, and that rhythm attracts the object of one's dominating thoughts. Hypnotic rhythm is something resembling a magnet which attracts things for which it has a magnetic affinity. Is that correct? Yes, that is correct. That is why the poverty stricken herd themselves into the same communities. It explains that old saying, misery loves company. It also explains why people who begin to succeed in any undertaking find that success multiplies with less effort as time goes on. All successful people use hypnotic rhythm, either consciously or unconsciously, by expecting and demanding success. The demand becomes a habit. Hypnotic rhythm takes over the habit, and the law of harmonious attraction translates it into its physical equivalent. In other words, if I know what I want from life, demand it, and back my demand by a willingness to pay life's price for what I want and refuse to accept any substitutes, the law of hypnotic rhythm takes over my desire and helps by natural and logical means to transmute it into its physical counterpart. Is that true? That describes the way the law works. Science has established irrefutable evidence that people are what they are because of heredity and environment. They bring over with them at birth a combination of all physical qualities of all their numberless ancestors. After they arrive here, they reach the age of self-consciousness, and from there on, they shape their own personalities and more or less fix their own earthly destinations as a result of the environmental influences to which they are subjected, especially the influences which control them during early childhood. These two facts have been so well established there is no room for any intelligent person to question them. How can hypnotic rhythm change the nature of a physical body, which is a combination of thousands of ancestors who have lived and died before one is born? How can hypnotic rhythm change the influence of one's environment? People who are born in poverty and ignorance have a strong tendency to remain poverty stricken and ignorant all through life. What, if anything, can hypnotic rhythm do about this? Hypnotic rhythm cannot change the nature of the physical body one inherits at birth, but it can and it does modify, change, control, and make permanent one's environmental influences. If I understand what you mean, A human being is forced by nature to take on and become a part of the environment he chooses or the environment that may be forced upon him. That is correct. But there are ways and means by which an individual may resist the influences of an environment he does not wish to accept, and also a method of procedure by which one may reverse the application of hypnotic rhythm from negative to positive ends. From negative to positive. What is the devil talking about? Transmutation, which is the name of the game when it comes to alchemists, y'all. It's all about transmutation. And the transmutation isn't lead into gold. The transmutation is from one mental state to the next. Because if you guys haven't figured it out by now, mind is all. The patterns of your thoughts create patterns in action, and the combination of your thoughts and actions becoming patterned to a certain thing brings about a certain result. And this is not spiritual talk. This is not woo woo wishy washy occult shit. This is practical, logical, ah, simple. It's simple. It's not easy. Don't mistake simple for easy. That will be the biggest mistake of all. Can't get something for nothing. Which Napoleon Hill hasn't stated yet, but I believe is what he keeps alluring to when he talks about sacrifice, willing to sacrifice, willing to sacrifice, willing to sacrifice. The important thing, you guys, to remember about sacrifice is that you're going to have to give up something. I talked about this last time with the Peter Pan syndrome when I did my last video, not the live, but I did another video the other day. People want to be kids forever. They want the infinite potential forever, right? That's the allure of Peter Pan, is that he's infinite possibility. He's a kid forever. That's what children represent, infinite possibilities. They can be anything. But that's also the downfall. That's also your crutch. If you are unable to make a decision at some point, and remember, a decision means to cut out. Incision means you cut in. You're gonna making an incision into the fucking chest. You're cutting into. Decision is cutting out. So a decision, if this helps you kind of wrap your head around it, isn't so much as picking one thing as much equally as it is cutting out things. That's what a decision is. So the cutting out part, right? That's the sacrifice. You have to fucking sacrifice something. No matter what you want, you have to make a sacrifice for it. The good news is that you get to choose your sacrifice. The good news is that you get to choose the sacrifice. If you're a drifter, right? If you're a drifter, you are one who has those decisions made for you because you are unable to make decisions of your own volition. Meaning you're always asking other people, should I do this? Should I do that? Not that it's bad to ask other people, but we need to learn to make our own decisions. Decisions is cutting shit out. It's a sacrifice. Good news is you gotta choose the sacrifice. And the idea is that when you make the choice, you're happy with the sacrifice because you understand what you're getting out of it, right? You understand that you're getting something that you want above all else. Making it okay to cut out all the other shit, to cut out the filler, and most of the time what we realize is we didn't need that shit anyways. And it actually feels good to not be dragging so much shit with us. You got what you're focused on, you can change your mind. Actually, your mind will change. I'm just going to say that verbatim. Your mind will change after you make a decision. It happens. And it will probably change until the day you die. But you have to fucking make a decision when you make the decision, right? 110 all in. If you change your mind, fine, you change your mind. The next thing you change your mind to, go all in. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Get in the rhythm. Get in the habit. Carrying on. Where are we? Okay. Do you mean that there is a definite method by which hypnotic rhythm can be made to serve instead of destroy? I mean, just that. Tell me how this astounding end may be attained. For my description to be of any practical value, it will be necessarily lengthy because it will have to cover 7 principles of psychology. There's 7 principles of the Hermetic philosophy. Damn. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you. Telling you. Oh, man. You guys can watch my reading by Candlelight for the Kabbalion. Go back and watch that. I made an audiobook where there's no commentary. I made a live reading with plenty of commentary. Um, it'll be infinitely better than any other fucking text you will read on the topic. I promise you that. Anywho, 7 principles of psychology which must be understood and applied to all those using blah blah blah. Then break your description into 7 parts, each giving a detailed analysis of one of the 7 principles with simple instructions for its practical application. That's funny because when I wrote a book on these 7 principles. Ooh, self-promo time. Here it is. It's called 7 Pillars, a Handbook for Existence, where I do just that. I separate each law and I break them down so that they can be used practically. And I show their resemblance in the modern day world with scientific evidence to back them up. And it seems like we're about to do all of that. So, this is a critical. Oh shit! Oh, that was the end of the chapter. Ha! Chapter 8, or well, the next chapter is called Definiteness of Purpose. And I actually didn't coin definiteness of purpose myself. I actually got that from reading another one of Napoleon Hill's books. He talks about definiteness of purpose a lot. So that's next chapter. What up, you guys? We finished. We finished. How long is the next chapter? Should we just run it? No, we can do the next one. It's pretty fast. It's pretty short, I should say. All right, you guys. I'm reading your guys' comments to catch up. Give me a second. Samantha. What's up, Samantha? Is it fair to so Phoenix King asks, is it fair to say the law of rhythm can be attributed to habit and karma working in tandem with the law of cause and effect? Yeah, absolutely, Phoenix. Absolutely, Phoenix. All the laws work in tandem with each other. And in this case, it's more than fair to say that the law of rhythm can be attributed to habit. Amongst other things, rhythm is not just habit. Rhythm is a whole bunch of things, but habit's definitely one part of that. Johnny Ray Brampton sacrificed sex for a good relationship. Perfect fucking example, right? You guys got to remember that there's not necessarily a right way to do these things. I mean, there is a right way to do these things, but there's not the perfect way to do these things. There's just a better way than others. And that's very subjective. So you guys got to kind of tap in. Like, for example, Ray gave up sex to have a better relationship. That's a decision he came to of his own volition. He took into consideration all the things he needed, he aimed, and he fired. Is it going to work or is it not going to work? Who fucking knows? But that's not necessarily the immediate worry. The immediate worry, again, is to make the decision. Thank you, Brandy. I'm glad you like it. Hello to all. What's up? All right, you guys. I'm going to just read the next chapter. It's short. It seems like it's just as short as Elf Self. What's cracking? Everyone say what up to Elf. If there's anyone new in the room, feel free to shout out your name. Say hello to the squad. We're all nice and friendly here. It's nice to have cool new people here. So pour yourself a glass of wine, smoke yourself some oregano, kick your shoes off, stay a while. I think me old trusty Gandalf is out of oregano. Nope, we're good. The bowl just runs deep. Bowl runs deep. Oh shit, it's cherried in there. Whoopsies. All right, it's 8:20, you guys. At 8:23, I will start the next chapter. So you guys need to use the restroom or anything. Pee now or forever hold your pee. Whoa. A lady by the name of Charisse said that there's a cross on my head while I speak. That's cool. Never realized that. But I'm down. Quanta Love. Hello, Quanta Love. Everyone give Quanta a real nice, friendly welcome. Yeah, welcome to our room. Nah, you're fine, Josie Pie. If you're curious what this smoke is, by the way, it's some green hojari frankincense resin. The frankincense, Boswellia sacra, not to be confused with the other frankincenses out there. This is the top shelf stuff. This is the bread and butter. This is the stuff that went to the king and queen themselves. All the way from Oman. Because that's how we roll here at Man of Letters. All right, we're going to kick this back off. So, without further ado, ladies and gents, we are kicking back the next chapter of Interview with the Devil. I'm your host, Keith, your man of letters, here to bring you knowledge, information, and a bit of entertainment. And, well, we'll get right into it. Definiteness of purpose. Your Majesty will now proceed to unfold the secrets of the 7 principles through which human beings may force life to provide them with spiritual, mental, and physical freedom. Mind, body, soul. Um, do not be sparing in your description of these principles. I want a complete illustration of how the principles may be used by anyone who chooses to use them. Tell us all you know about the principle of definiteness of purpose. If you go through with this mad idea of publishing my confession, you will open the gates of hell and turn loose all the precious souls I have collected back down through the ages. You will deprive me of souls yet unborn. You will release from my bondage millions now living. Stop. I beg you. Open up. Let's hear what you have to say about the principle of definiteness of purpose. You are pouring water on the fires of hell, but the responsibility is yours, not mine. I may as well tell you that any human being who can be definite in his aims and plans can make life hand over whatever is wanted. That is a broad claim, Your Majesty. Do you wish to tone it down a bit? Tone it down? No, I wish to tone it up. When you hear what I now have to say, you will understand why the principle of definiteness is so important. My opposition uses a clever little trick to cheat me of my control over people. The opposition knows that definiteness of purpose closes the door of one's mind so tightly against me that I cannot break through unless I can induce one to form the habit of drifting. Why doesn't your opposition give your secret to all the people by telling them to avoid you through definiteness of purpose? You have already admitted that 2 out of every 100 people belong to your opposition. Because I am more clever than my opposition. I draw people away from definiteness with my promises. You see, I can control more people than my opposition because I am a better salesman and a better showman. I attract people by feeding them liberally of the thought habits in which they like to indulge. Is definiteness of purpose something that which one must be born, or may it be acquired? Everyone, as I have told you before, is born with the privilege of being definite, but 98 out of every 100 people lose their privilege by sleeping on it. The privilege of definiteness can be maintained only by adopting it as a policy by which one is guided in all the affairs of life. Oh, I see. One takes advantage of the principle of definiteness just as one may build a strong physical body through constant systematic use. Is that it? You have stated the truth clearly and accurately. And now I think we are getting somewhere. Whoops. It's a combination of the two accents. Now I think we're getting somewhere, Your Majesty. We have at long last found the starting point from which all who become self-determining in life must take off. We have discovered from your astounding confession that your greatest asset is man's lack of caution, which enables you to lead him into the jungle of indefiniteness through simple bribes. We have learned beyond the question of doubt that anyone who adopts definiteness of purpose as a policy and uses it in all of his daily experiences cannot be induced to form the habit of drifting. Without the aid of the drifting habit, you are powerless to attract people through promises. Is this correct? I couldn't have stated the truth more clearly myself. Go ahead now and describe how people neglect their privilege of being free and self-determining through indefiniteness and drifting. I have already made brief reference to this principle, but I will now go into more minute details as to how the principle works. I shall have to begin at the time of birth. When a child is born, it brings with it nothing but a physical body representing the evolutionary results of millions of years of ancestry. Its mind is a total blank. When the child reaches the age of consciousness and begins to recognize the objects of its surroundings, it begins also to imitate others. Imitation becomes a fixed habit. Pay attention, you guys. Imitation becomes a fixed habit. That's one I've never heard before as being a bad thing, or not, or as being. I'll carry on. Naturally, the child imitates first of all its parents. Then it begins to imitate its other relatives and daily associates, including its religious instructors and school teachers. The imitation extends not merely to physical expression, but also to the thought expression. If a child's parents fear me and express that fear within range of the child's hearing, the child picks up the fear through the habits of imitation and stores it away as part of its subconscious stock of beliefs. If the child's religious instructor expresses any form of fear of me, and they all do in one form or another, that fear is added to the similar fear passed to the child by its parents. And the two forms of negative limitation are stored away in the subconscious mind to be drawn upon and used by me later in life. In a similar way, the child learns by imitation to limit its power of thought by filling its mind with envy, hatred, greed, lust, revenge, and all other negative impulses of thought which destroy all possibility of definiteness. Meanwhile, I move in and induce the child to drift until I blind its mind through hypnotic rhythm. Am I to understand from your remarks that you have to gain control of people while they are very young or lose your opportunity at them altogether? I prefer to claim them before they come into my possession of their own minds. Once any person learns the power of his own thoughts, he becomes positive and difficult to subdue. As a matter of fact, I cannot control any human being who discovers and uses the principle of definiteness. Is the habit of definiteness a permanent protection against your control? No, not by any means. Definiteness closes the door of one's mind to me only as long as that person follows the principle as a matter of policy. Once any person hesitates, procrastinates, or becomes indefinite about anything, he is just one step removed from my control. What has definiteness to do with one's material circumstances? I want to know if one may acquire power through definiteness of purpose without inviting destruction through the law of compensation. The law of compensation is verbatim in the Hermetic philosophy. Here you are forcing me to disclose one of my most prized tricks. I am bound to tell you that I eventually reclaim for my cause all who escape me temporarily through definiteness of purpose. The reclamation is made by filing the mind with greed for power and the love for egotistical expression. The love of egotistical expression, the devil says, which is curious because self expression is pushed hard in the spiritual community. Self expression is pushed hard in the spiritual realm. But in slips the ego, and all of a sudden it becomes egotistical self expression. How do we know when we're being egotistical in our self expression? Maybe this is why we see so many Hollywood movies where the really famous actor or the really famous artist or painter is just a son of a bitch because the fame gets to their head that started from their self expression. They're amazing and wonderful self expression, refined through their definiteness of purpose, but when it becomes egotistical, um, well, we'll just carry on. So I see from your admission that definiteness of purpose may be dangerous in proportion to its possibility as a power. Is that true? Yes, and what is more important, every principle of good carries with it the seed of an equivalent danger. That's the law of compensation and the law of polarity. That is hard to believe. What danger, for example, can there be in the habit of love of truth? Ooh, good question, Napoleon. Answer: the danger lies in the word habit. All habits, save only that of the love of definiteness of purpose, all habits, save only the love of the definiteness of purpose, may lead to the habit of drifting. For love of truth, unless it assumes a proportion of definite pursuit of truth, may become similar to all other good intentions. You know, of course, what I do with good intentions. Well played, devil. Is love for one's relatives also dangerous? The love for anything or anyone save only the love of definiteness of purpose may become dangerous. Love is a state of mind which beclouds reason, saps willpower, and blinds one to facts and truth. Everyone who becomes self-determined and gains spiritual freedom to think his own thoughts must examine carefully every emotion that seems even remotely related to love. You may be surprised to know that love is one of my most effective baits. With it, I lead into the habit of drifting those whom I could attract with nothing else. That is why I have placed it at the head of my list of bribes. Show me what any person loves most. Show me what any person loves most. And I will have my cue as to how that person can be induced to drift until I bind him with hypnotic rhythm. Love, fear, combined, give me the most effective weapons which I induce people to drift. One is as helpful to me as the other. Both have the effect of causing people to neglect to develop definiteness and the use of their own minds. Give me control over a person's fears and tell me what he loves most, and you may as well mark that person down as my slave. Both love and fear are emotional forces of such stupendous potency that either may completely set aside the power of will and the power of reason. Without will and reason, there is nothing left to support definiteness of purpose. Give me 1 second. I don't have a pop filter for my mic. So whenever I say pa, pa, you can hear it real loud. Um, Shit, where'd I leave off? But, Your Majesty, life would not be worth living if people never felt the emotion of love. Ah, you are right as far as your reasoning goes, but you neglected to add that love should be under one's definiteness of control at all times. Of course, love is a desirable state of mind, but it also is a palliative which may be used to limit or destroy reason and willpower, both of which rate above love in importance to human beings who want freedom and self-determination. I understand from what you I understand from what you say that people who gain power must harden their emotions, master fear, and subdue love. Is that correct? People who gain and maintain power must become definite in all their thoughts and all their deeds. If that is what you call hard, then they must become hard. I don't know if I believe that part. It doesn't always have to be hard. Sometimes soft is necessary. Sometimes hard is necessary. All depends on the circumstance. But I also believe that's why the devil said, didn't necessarily agree with Napoleon. He said, well, I require that you have to be definiteness of purpose. If you want to call that hard, then so be it. He said, if you want to call that hard, sure, because it would fall under that at sometimes, but sometimes not. Tricky, right? Um, Let us look into the source of advantage of definiteness in the everyday affairs of life. Which is more apt to succeed, a weak plan applied with definiteness or sound, strong plan indefinitely applied? Weak plans have a way of becoming strong if definitely applied. You mean that any plan definitely put into continuous action in pursuit of a definite purpose may be successful even if it is not the best plan? Yes, I mean just that. Definiteness of purpose plus definiteness of plan by which the purpose is to be achieved generally succeeds, no matter how weak the plan may be. The major difference between a sound and an unsound plan is that the sound plan, if definitely applied, may be carried out more quickly than an unsound plan. In other words, if one cannot always be right, one and should always be definite. Is that what you are trying to get across to me? It's a good point. Um, this is part of why we notice confidence so much. People do this all the time actually. Go in front of the public and say something with complete confidence and definiteness that you could say anything and people would believe you. Can a person who moves with definiteness of both plan and purpose be always sure of success? No. The best of plans sometimes misfire, but the person who moves with definiteness recognizes the difference between temporary defeat and failure. When plan fails, he substitutes others, but he does not change his purpose. He perseveres. Eventually, he finds a plan that succeeds. Will a plan based upon immoral or unjust ends succeed as quickly as one motivated by a keen sense of justice and morality? Through the operation of the law of compensation, everyone reaps that which he sows. Plans based on unjust or immoral motives may bring temporary success, but enduring success must take into consideration the fourth dimension, time. Time is the enemy of immorality and injustice. It is the friend of justice and morality. Failure to recognize this fact has been responsible for the crime wave among the youths of the world. The youthful, inexperienced mind is apt to mistake temporary success for permanency. The youth often makes the mistake of coveting the temporary gains of immoral, unjust plans, but neglects to look ahead and observe the penalties which follow as definitely as night follows day. What's up, you guys? we made it. We made it. Again, checking through your guys' comments right now. If there's anyone new in the room, what up? Join the channel. Hit the subscribe button. Click on the little notification bell. We send the lives off as often as we can. It's a little busy right now, but we run them as often as we can. Bunch of cool videos. Would love to have you guys around. Um, Again, you guys, thank you for the support you have been giving me. If you guys look in the description of this video, you can see my Patreon, which is a way to support the channel. Also, my PayPal, simple way to support the channel. There's like 300 people that watch these things over the course of time, like on every video for the lives. Man, every person was like, here's a $3 tip from the 300. Here's a $3 tip. $900 from doing a video. Like, I'm sure that day will come, and when it does, I am for sure Sorry Pop's gonna quit the day job, because I'm not that far off from it. I mean, I'm already getting 300 plus views videos. So you guys, we're making it. We're doing it. We're doing it big. We just got to set up the avenues, right? I guess get that definiteness of purpose in line to make serious cash on this YouTube channel, so I can really fucking hone it in. I'm super stoked. Super stoked for it. And damn, look at that candlelight glow though. Nice. Go ahead and move this over a bit. But yeah, back to you guys' comments. You guys are dropping knowledge out in there in the little chat room. I see you. Phoenix King brought up a good point. Said imitation is the greatest form of flattery. And we learned that the devil used flattery on humans to make the drift using hypnotic rhythm. Jenny P, yeah, that's actually me playing recorded. How did you know that? It's a song I'm working on. It's I don't know. I didn't put it on repeat. I don't know how it's fucking on repeat. But it's like another spooky New Orleans song I got going right now. I got a dip though, you guys. Thank you for the support, and thank you for the love, and thank you guys for being here. Again, if you guys are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you're not, thanks for being here anyways. Check out my description of the video, and if you feel the urge to help the channel out, support in some way, that is it. It's the best way to do it. Otherwise, I'll see you guys soon. Hopefully the next couple days we'll run another live. We're almost done with this, but thank you guys, and I'll see you later. And good eye, Jenny Pete. Good eye. Or ear, I should say. Good ear.